If you ever felt guilty spending money or anxious checking your bank account, that's not a money problem, that's money trauma. And here's the wild part. That cautious thing, you might be carrying beliefs about money that aren't even yours. In this video, we'll unpack the 5 types of money trauma, and more importantly, how to heal them. Money trauma isn't just about poverty. It's about emotional patterns formed around money. Avoidance, fear, guilt, obsession, self-sabotage. Often it starts in childhood and silently shapes our financial lives as adults. This isn't your fault, but it is your responsibility to heal. Let's break down the 5 common money trauma types. See which one sounds like you. The first type of money trauma is what I call the scarcity survivor. There are people who grew up around financial instability. Maybe money was always tight, bills were a source of stress, or their family lived paycheck to paycheck. Even now, as adults, they might be earning well, but deep down there's still this constant fear of not having enough. They hoard savings, avoid spending, and stress over small purchases. It's not because they're cheap. It's because their nervous system is wired for survival. They never learned what safety with money feels like. And that fear, it never really leaves until you heal the root. The healing starts by building a consistent sense of security. Set up small automated savings, even $5 a week, just to show your brain that stability is being built. Track progress visually. The goal isn't just saving money, it's teaching your body that the danger is over. Safety isn't a number, it's a feeling, and you can create it. Teach your brain that stability is being created today, not feared from the past. The second type of money trauma is the guilty saver. Most people might have grown up hearing things like, "We can't afford that," or "You should be grateful for what you have." Over time, they learn to associate spending, especially on themselves, with selfishness or shame. As adults, they might have the money, but every time they buy something just for joy, they feel a pang of guilt. It's like they constantly need to justify every purchase. And even when they save, it's not empowering. It's driven by anxiety or fear. The healing here is about permission. Create what I call a joy fund. A small amount of money set aside every month that's meant to be spent on you. No guilt, no justification, just joy. Start small, even $20. The goal is to rewire the belief that your needs and desires are valid and that you are allowed to feel good about using money for yourself. The third type of money trauma is the investment avoider. There are people who live with a deep fear of making the wrong financial decision. Maybe they watched someone close lose money, or they were never taught how investing works, so now even the idea of putting money into something uncertain feels terrifying. Instead, they keep cash sitting in savings accounts, avoiding any risk, even when they know it's holding them back. They often say things like, "I'm just not good with money," or "I'll start investing when I know more." But that day never comes because fear blocks action. The healing starts with rebuilding trust, one step at a time. You don't need to invest thousands, just start small. Automate $10 or $20 a week into something simple, like an index fund. The goal isn't big returns right away. The goal is to prove to yourself that you can take action without fear. Confidence comes from doing, not from waiting until you feel ready. It's not about the amount, it's about retraining trust. The fourth type of money trauma is the money martyr. There are some beings who feel responsible for everyone else's financial well-being, except their own. Maybe they grew up in a household where love was tied to sacrifice, or maybe they've always been the one others rely on for help. So now, even when they're struggling, they still overgive, paying for others, bailing people out, saying yes to every request. But underneath the generosity is a pattern of self-neglect. They feel guilty setting boundaries and often delay their own goals to rescue others. The healing begins with self-prioritization. Ask yourself, is giving love costing me peace? You can still support others, but not at the cost of your own stability. Start by setting clear boundaries. Create a giving budget and separate what's truly generous from what's self-sacrificing. You're allowed to take care of others without abandoning yourself. Boundaries are a form of financial self-respect. The fifth and final one is the control hoarder. Some person needs to track everything, every dollar, every expense, every line item, perfectly managed, perfectly planned. It might look like financial discipline from the outside, but underneath, it's usually driven by fear. Fear of losing control, fear of surprises. Maybe they grew up in a chaotic environment where money felt unstable, so now they micromanage finances as a way to feel safe. But over time, this obsession with control becomes exhausting, and ironically, it blocks growth. The healing comes from replacing control with structure. Instead of micromanaging every decision, shift to a system like percentage-based budgeting, where your money flows into categories automatically. Set the rules once, then step back. Let the structure do the work, because true financial peace doesn't come from control. It comes from trust. Structure replaces control with trust. Behind every money trauma is a story. That story was often written before you had a choice. But here's the truth. You can rewrite the script through awareness, through action, through compassion. You're not broken, just patterned, and patterns can be changed. Don't just budget, heal. Don't just invest, understand. The richest people aren't the ones with the most money. They're the ones with the most clarity. If this resonated, subscribe for more videos like this, because real wealth begins inside, and it grows when you heal.